Well, her remarkable journey began sometime in 1981 when she was only at Form 3. We just want to understand, how she has managed to get into this pivotal moment where she has become the country's greatest blood donor, female blood donor for that matter. And so we'll be having this moment of her say to engage none other than Aisha Dafalas. If you are actually in that space of blood donating, you would certainly get to understand who is this lifesaver. I call her the lifesaver. I don't know what you choose to call her. She'll be gracing our set this evening. We just get to understand what is it that she is doing different towards making sure that many, many lives are actually saved out of the donation, the blood donation that you would give. Thank you so much, ma'am. I know it's Ramadan moment, but you're here to grace our set. It's indeed a great pleasure. We'll be getting to speak to her shortly on her say, but for now, let's take a look at the highlights.
Tonight, Health CS Susan Nakhumicha now hints that the government plans to amend the 2017 CBA, a move that could act doctors who are already on strike. And Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka now hints at the return of Azimio protests if the NADCO report is not implemented.
It's a deliberate scheme to go against what was agreed at Bomas. This can only mean that our friends on the other side never had the goodwill and the faith.
Also tonight, we lift the lead on the sixth state of healthcare in Kitui County, with residents there bearing the greatest brand.
Zinaletwa leo, lakini kesho hakuna dawa. Haya, ukija hapa kujifungua, kama umeshindwa kujifungua, gari haina mtu.
Well, this is TV47 Weekend Edition, and by extension, Hasi. We'll be getting to that conversation later on. But first, it's important that we are enlightened as to what is happening around us and beyond. And we'll be getting to the news. My name is Linda Alela, and we also have on the sign language interpreters desk or side none other than Rhoda Nyamai. And of course, the lines are open for you to speak to us. The hashtag Hasi, and of course, TV47 Weekend Edition begins right away. Now, Health CS Susan Nakhumicha says the government is working on revising the 2017 CBA that has been the bone of contention in the ongoing nationwide doctors' strike. This as a number of legislators have called on the government to find a durable solution to the strike that has since paralyzed the delivery of health services at public health facilities, further overwhelming private hospitals that are now facing an influx of patients. Elizabeth Otieno with that report.
As the doctors' strike enters its 17th day with no end in sight, things could get even worse after Health Cabinet Secretary Susan Nakhumicha hinted at plans by the Kenya Kwanza government to revise the 2017 CBA, saying it was signed by the previous regime. Additionally, the Health CS says the government will be making some reforms to the agreement with a keen focus to solving the ongoing crisis in the health sector.
Mbona kuna makosa hapa, hiyo makosa nitarekebisha. Na hii serikali inataka kurekebisha makosa kila mahali. Ndio nyinyi wananchi mpate faida.
CS Health, na kushukuru sana, kazi yako umejaribu. Lakini mambo ya udaktari si mambo ya kuongea kwa matanga. And I'm surprised you have sat here the whole time. I would be thinking you would be somewhere working on doctors.
Heshimu huyu na ni mama. Kwanza hiyo ministry iko na wakora wezi wengi sana.
The CBA has been top on the priority list for the striking doctors, led by the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacist and Dentist Union KMPDU, who have time and again called for its full implementation.
The unilateral decision to reduce the salary that has been negotiated on the CBA for doctors was unwarranted and unnecessary.
Minority Leader of the National Assembly, Opiyo Wandayi, has called on legislators to pass the supplementary budget as soon as next week that will avail a budget to compensate the medical interns.
The time has now come for Honorable William Ruto himself to come in and assist you. First, by leading the negotiations with the doctors. But secondly, by talking to the Kenya Kwanza MPs, who are the majority, to pass a budget in Parliament next week and provide money for these doctors.
The leaders were speaking during the homecoming ceremony for Lugari Member of Parliament Nabii Nabwera, where National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula called on doctors to go back to work to save thousands of Kenyans in dire need of services.
As I stand here, I urge our doctors. Sometimes we argue as to whether it's the egg first or the hen first. Bila yai kuku hange kuweko, bila kuku yai hange kuweko. Turudi kasini, tuendelee kuongea, we will be able to reach a compromise.
Meanwhile, the Doctors' Union have announced a major doctors' assembly on the 2nd of April that will bring in all doctors from across the country. Elizabeth Atieno, TV47.
Thank you, Liz, for that. Now, a section of farmers across the country have expressed their concerns after the government suspended the distribution of subsidized fertilizer at a time when the farming season is underway. And as Paul Kirubi now tells us, the matter is causing hue and cry, with many calling for more action from the government.
The move by the government to suspend the distribution of subsidized fertilizer has left many farmers at crossroads as the farming season continues.
Can the president rise up on this occasion and sack all these people? Sack, not even change them. Sack them from the minister. All down. Sack them all.
Many of those we spoke to say they'd already planned their annual farming schedules by stocking on the fertilizer and now fear they could get double losses. In a statement, the National Development Implementation Committee suspended the distribution of subsidized fertilizer over concerns of the existence of fake products. The decision arrived after a meeting of the committee, which is headed by Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi, together with Principal Secretary and the head of public service, was to pave way for investigations.
Kitui anasema ati hakuna mbolea fake, na polisi wa Kenya wameshika hii mbolea. PS wake mwenyewe amesema iko mbolea fake. Sasa PS anasema haya, waziri anasema yale.
The issue has elicited mixed reaction from across all corners of the country, with a section of Leader Plus church leaders delve into the matter.
Njaa ndio imefungua, tumesikia tukielezwa. Na sio njaa tu, hata maisha yetu. Pale tegemeo letu ambao ni ukulima, tutakuwa hatuna namna yake kesho.
The Senate Committee on Agriculture has already summoned the CS for Agriculture Mithika Linturi and his trade counterpart Rebecca Miano, not forgetting the Kenya National Trade Corporation that took up the tender. Earlier on, CS Linturi refuted claims of having fake fertilizer in the market.
Na ndio nauliza wakulima wote Kenya ambao walinunua mbolea gushi katika halmashauri ya nafaka nchini. Msitupe mbolea ambao mlichukua, msifute jumbe fupi ambazo mlipewa, msitupe mbolea kwa sababu tutahitaji kama ushahidi wakati tunafanya uchunguzi. Tunataka tujue kama kuna wakora ambao walihusika katika serikali.
The farmers now demanding a refund of the money they used to produce the fertilizer.
Tuiwachukulia hawa wafanyikazi hatua.
The committee now wants the principal secretaries to adhere to the procurement laws to avoid the occurrence of such instances in the near future. Paul Kirubi, TV47, Nairobi.
Now, Azimio Brigade, led by Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka, has hinted the return of Azimio's protest if the NADCO report is not implemented. Kalonzo says that the opposition reads mischief after a petitioner moved to court seeking to block the audit of the 2022 general election, which was the nerve center for the process. Elizabeth Mutuku with that.
A petition filed at the Kiambu court seeking to stop the implementation of parts of the National Dialogue Committee report, NADCO, has kicked a political storm, with Azimio camp saying there could be more than that meets the eye. His first day of 3 days coastal tour, Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka has accused the government of frustrating the implementation of the NADCO report in Parliament through the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee. The Joint Justice and Legal Affairs Committee was given 45 days to process 9 bills in regards to the NADCO report and present a report before National Assembly. The process is, however, yet to start, with the committee failing to meet thrice for lack of quorum, a move which Azimio is reading a mischief.
Kwamba it appears to us it's a deliberate scheme to go against what was agreed at Bomas. This can only mean that our friends on the other side never had the goodwill and the faith. So taking a whole nation captive and on a route which is clearly deceptive.
Further, the Azimio Brigade says so far there is no goodwill in a report which had shone light in unifying Kenyans, with the leaders accusing Kenya Kwanza for sponsoring court cases, not only to derail the process but ensuring the report is not implemented, now threatening to go back to Mwananchi.
Wana block kule bungeni, hawataki wakamilishe processing ya NADCO report. Sasa wameingia mahakamani, wamemtuma mwenzao aende mahakamani a block hiyo report. Sisi tunataka tuseme kama Wakenya walisimamisha maandamano na wamekubali mazungumzo, wana Kenya Kwanza wasitujaribu tena, wasitusukume, sababu wale Wakenya walianza maandamano si bado wako.
In a pending case before the High Court, activist Michael Mushemi told the High Court that the presentation and submission of the report as is from the NADCO to the National Assembly poses a direct challenge to the rule of law in Kenya, as it seeks to conduct an election audit outside the constitutional framework.
It appears to us it's a deliberate scheme to go against what was agreed at Bomas. This can only mean that our friends on the other side never had the goodwill and the faith. So taking a whole nation captive.
We suspect what has been done is state-sponsored. They say if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it is a duck. Tunaamini hii ni mambo ya Kenya kwanza. Because you know you did not have good faith at the beginning of this process. You did not have good faith during this process. And now you're proving lack of good faith.
Key proposals in the NADCO report include the overhaul and restructuring of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC. The NADCO report also suggests expanding the selection panel from 7 to 9 members. Additionally, the report calls for an evaluation of the 2022 electoral process, a matter advocated strongly by the opposition. Elizabeth Mutuku, TV47, Nairobi.
Thank you, Liz. Now, the wars facing private security guards across the country could be a thing of the past with the rollout of their registration by the Private Security Regulatory Authority. Over 30,000 guards could soon start earning 30,000 shillings, up from the current 7,000, as Nelson Mwereza now tells us.
Hundreds of private security guards thronged the Uhuru Park grounds for mass registration, which could signal the beginning of the end of their tribulations. The move by the Private Security Regulatory Authority being in line with Section 21 and 28 of the Private Security Regulation Act number 13 of 2016, which requires that no person shall engage in the provision of private security services or offer private security services in Kenya unless that person has been security vetted and registered by the Private Security Regulatory Authority. The registration could mean that soon the private security guard could start earning a monthly salary of 30,000 Kenya shillings each, regular training and even getting promotions.
It will not happen under my watch that a private security guard is disrespected. It will not happen under my watch for a private security officer to be paid 7,000.
The controversial issue of giving guns to private security guards play out once again with Director General of Private Security Regulatory Authority, Fazul Mohammed, saying it should be rolled out.
Make sure each and every one of you goes through what? Training. Sidikweli. Then we have already vetted you. Then now we will do what? Give you the guard force number. Then the issue of arming will come at that point. Tumeelewana?
The security guards were registered and issued with a guard force number. The process will also include mandatory security vetting and training for all bouncers, bodyguards, event stewards, door supervisors, event security, VIP protection, close protection and crowd control security personnel.
Sitakubali nikae pale na nyinyi hamuna kitu inaitwa guard force. Kila mtu hapa atakuwa na guard force. Each and every one of you here will undergo training. And you will be respected in this society.
Security guards welcomed the move to increase their salaries, saying it has been a long time coming.
So hiyo kabisa tunashukuru kama watatekeleza hiyo sheria yote. Hivyo ndo tunatarajia.
Tumepewa maoni mzuri, tunangojea hiyo 30k na tunawaambia asante sana kwa sababu tulikuwa kwa hii sekta kwa miaka mingi.
Nelson Mwereza, TV47, Nairobi.
All right. Now, the Youth Affairs, Sports and the Arts CS, that is, Abu Namwamba, has graced the 13th Kalasha Awards Festival that are currently ongoing at the Kenyatta International Convention Center, KICC, right here in Nairobi. And of course, the event will see a number of individuals and media organizations being awarded for exemplary effort in bettering the film and media industry. Kenya Film Commission CEO Timothy Owase has appreciated all contestants, saying that the film industry has created employment and is also contributing to economic development in the country, right? Of course, all the way to KICC, we have the CS addressing the congregation. Let's cross over there and listen in.
If you haven't yet, don't go before you do. Ladies and gentlemen, as we revel in the festivities tonight, let us be reminded of the economic potential that the film industry bears, not only in terms of job creation, but also in shaping our cultural identity and fostering creativity. You know, when we hosted the very historic State of Film Summit last year, I challenged the film ecosystem to move towards transforming into a full-blown industry. And we went through a checklist on what it means to be an industry. And I repeat tonight, we must bloom into a full-blown industry. I was telling my president the other day, my boss, that the film industry and the creatives economy in general is not even a low-hanging fruit. It is a fruit already lying on the ground. All it needs is to be picked up, and we enjoy its benefits. And really, I believe in that. That's not just cliche. It's not to please you, to make you happy. The creative economy, the film industry, is something whose benefits are immense. Absolutely immense. And we will make it happen, trust me. We certainly will make it happen. I want to urge all of us to take a moment to appreciate the remarkable storytelling prowess of our filmmakers, whose narratives resonate deeply with the fabric of our society. Their work serves as a testament to the rich tapestry of Kenyan culture. We remain steadfast in our commitment to providing a robust legislative and policy framework for the film industry, one that will nurture talent, facilitate growth, and provide incentives for innovation. We have just finished the very rigorous public participation process around the creative economy policy and the creative industries bill, a piece of legislation anchored by a robust policy framework that should really enable us to fly the creative economy where it belongs. And it's the whole ecosystem, from film to music to theater, fashion, pageantry, that whole ecosystem. We have now anchored that on a robust policy and a full-blown legislative framework in the form of a bill that we should be progressing to Parliament anytime now. And my ministry has been at the forefront really in fostering not only this anchorage on policy.
All right, as the saying goes, may the best men and women win. And so tonight, UDA members of parliament have rallied behind legislative push to amend the constitution and protect 26 constitutional provisions on the verge of disbandment. This is after the country missed the deadline to review constituency boundaries due to a lack of IEBC commissioners meant to oversee the exercise. The constitutional amendment is currently before the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee of the National Assembly.
A twin dilemma occasioned by the lack of a proper functioning electoral body IEBC has left the country in a dilemma on the fate of the review of constituency boundaries and 26 protected constituencies, which are time-barred by the Constitution. Despite missing the deadline, UDA MPs speaking in Kiambu County have vowed to support a constitutional amendment sponsored by Thika Town MP Alice Ng'ang'a, seeking the retention of the 26 constituencies.
Tutaunga mkono ya kwamba hizi constituencies zisiguzwe, lakini zile constituencies ambazo ni kubwa kama kwa mfano Juja, Ruiru na hata Thika na zinginezo ambazo ni kubwa, ziko na population kubwa, tufanye some amendment ama tufanye boundary amendment ndio tuweze kupata constituencies nyingi.
NADCO report ikiisha, hiyo ndio itasaidia kutengeneza IEBC, na mimi naamini haitakaa muda mrefu juu sisi wote tunaelewa umuhimu wa IEBC. Kuna constituency mbunge aliaga dunia, hao watu wamekaa bila kuwakilishwa miezi mingi sana.
The amendment currently before the National Assembly's Justice and Legal Affairs Committee proposes to amend Article 89 of the Constitution by giving the constituencies more time to meet the population quota as stipulated in Article 89(5) of the Constitution, that reads in part, the boundaries of each constituency shall be such that the number of inhabitants in the constituency is as nearly as possible equal to the population quota. The 26 constituencies were protected after failing to meet the population quota of 164,000 people of the 2019 census, which capped the number of Kenyans at 47.5 million spread across the 290 constituencies.
Ukisema tunaendelea kufanya protection ya constituencies ambazo hazijafikisha kiwango cha watu ambao wanatakikana, ni kumaanisha kwamba pia constituency ambazo ziko na watu wengi hatuwezi kuzigawa tukaongeza constituency, kwa sababu katika kwenye katiba inasema constituencies za Kenya ni 290. Kuweza kuongeza zaidi ya hapo itamaanisha kwamba itabidi sasa tuende kwa referendum ndio tuweze kubadilisha katiba tuongeze. Kwa hivyo ni jambo ambalo linataka kukaliwa chini.
Mlima huu tuko underrepresented. Ukiangalia mahali kama Ruiru, watu ni wengi sana na wanahitaji. Ruiru na Githurai is a county, na hizo zinafaa kuwa zimeangaliwa vizuri.
Out of the 26 constituencies, 7 are from the Mount Kenya region, among them Othaya, Ndaragwa, Mukurweini, Mbeere North, Mathioya, Kangema and Tetu, where there is a clamor to increase the number of constituencies.
Our constitution again also states clearly that any person who enjoyed a certain benefit or a benefit before the promulgation of this new constitution in 2010, they shouldn't lose that benefit.
The NADCO report, adopted by Parliament but yet to become law, recommended the boundaries review be extended through a parliamentary resolution supported by majority in the two houses. Apul Kamau, TV47.
Now, the decentralization of the health sector in the country aimed at strengthening medical services, ensuring that Kenyans have easy access to both primary and advanced health care. However, more than a decade later, access to Medicare is seemingly an endless struggle for residents of Mwingi North sub-county in Kitui County. Locals have for decades grappled with understaffed, poorly equipped, as well as old healthcare facilities which are unable to serve the present-day needs. So to avoid casualties, most residents are now forced to traverse long distances before accessing services in neighboring counties, as our reporter Arnold Adidi details.
Mwingi North sub-county. This area is one of the 8 sub-counties found within Kitui County. According to the 2019 national census, this arid part of Kitui has more than 145,000 residents. Despite having a notable number of people, health services in the area have for years been a major concern for these residents. Our first spot check leads us to Tharaka Health Center, located in Tharaka Ward. According to residents, this facility has been in existence for over 70 years since its construction in 1951. However, to date, little has been done here, rendering this highly dependable facility unable to offer essential services.
Ilianja mwaka wa 1951 ambayo sikuwa nazaliwa, lakini ya wakati huo ilikuwa katika hali ya shinda. Pesa ilikuwa mbeleni, ilikuwa serikali ilikuwa inapeana pesa kwa hospitali, lakini mahali kapikia mahali kwa hata haiendelei kabisa.
Naona wakati wa national government na saa hii imeenda kwa county, naona afadhali wakati county haikuwa. Ukienda mahali kuna placenta feed hakuna, ilisimwa na maji ilipomoka na mama wanaendelea kujifungulia, ceiling imenyeshewa, hakuna renovation. Stima ikipotea, hakuna solar, hakuna battery.
Poor infrastructure within health facilities has put lives of expectant mothers at great risk. To avoid further dangers, most mothers have to embark on long and challenging journeys to neighboring counties in order to access maternal health care.
Zinaletwa leo, lakini kesho hakuna dawa. Haya, ukija hapa kujifungua, kama umeshindwa kujifungua, gari haina mtu wa kupeleka. Sasa unashindwa, hata wale wanachanganyikiwa mpaka unakimbiza mtu haraka haraka hospitali. Hata wengine wanafika wakiwa wamekufa. Unajua hapa kutoka hapa kwenda Marimanti hata kuna shinda moja. Kuvuka hii mto iko hapa, kama maji ikiwa imekuja hata hiyo unaweza potea na maji. Kutoka hapa kwenda Ishiara, hapa kuna distance kubwa. Hiyo mawe kupigwa kama mwanamke akiwa amebeba, hiyo ni shinda. Na kutoka hapa kwenda Ishiara ni kama kilomita 60. Ukitoka hapa kwenda Marimanti ni kama 70.
In the neighboring ward of Momoni, the situation is the same, abandoned infrastructure. Since the decentralization of the health sector, locals here claim that services have deteriorated even more.
Watoto wa hii inaitwa kliniki wanapepa kutoka hapa kuenda Kasee ama huko Kiuso kupata hiyo chanjo.
Nilimetumwa nje, nikaenda kanunue dawa nje, pesa nje, kila kitu nje. Wananikumtoa hapa nimupeleke mahali pengine, nitalipa kali. Siwezi makampeleka bure.
A few weeks ago, Mokindo Primary School located in Tharaka lost 2 pupils who died after a short illness. A statement from the school head teacher Josephat Kimotho indicating the difficulties encountered in seeking medical services. However, Kitui County CEC member for health Ruth Koki, who spoke to TV47 on phone, also on condition of not being recorded, has denied being aware of such a grim situation in health centers in the area. The minister saying that Kitui County has been receiving medical supplies, including enough medicines. These claims have been strongly denied by Tharaka Ward Member of County Assembly Muthengi Ndangara.
Tunahitaji kupewa level 4 hospital hapa. Hospitali ambayo mojawapo ni kubwa. Manake huduma nyingi ambazo wananchi wangu wanapokea Embu County, kilomita zaidi ya 30 kutoka huku. Wengine wanapeleka Tharaka Nithi County. Watoto wangu wote ukiangalia hata birth certificate zao wanazaliwa maeneo mengine. Manake hakuna huduma ambazo zinapatikana hapa kwangu.
In its next financial year budget that amounts to 12.6 billion shillings, Kitui County has allocated 3.8 billion shillings for the health sector, translating to about 34% of the total budget. Residents of Mwingi North hoping that soon they will feel the impact of this lucrative share.
Na kule nje picha iko na bei kali, lakini serikali ikileta hapa hiyo itakuwa chini. Kwa nini serikali amwezi kutafuta mashini mulete hapa kwa hospitali?
Arnold Adidi, TV47.
Thank you, Arnold, for that story. It is now time that we take a short break, but a polite reminder of that incredible sitting that we'll be having by Aisha Dafala as we speak to her. Remember, I mentioned earlier on that she began her journey of, donating blood across the country in 1981, close to 40 years now. What is this that got her sustaining this commitment of saving lives? As we get to that conversation, please make sure that you drop your comments therein. All you want to wish or to ask about, blood donating is certainly a conversation that we'll be having. But for now, allow us to take that quick short break, and then we come back with more.
Na safari hii katika Mfahamu Kiongozi tutakuletea viongozi aina mbalimbali.
Nikuwe na Nisani kama 10 na pia nikuwe menua minibus. Minibus nikoniwa.
Kushinda unaangalia simu ya mzee. Soma Biblia ama ingia kwa washroom ujisugue. Mpaka nimetoa hivi.
I don't know whether any of my children would want to get into the political field. Sijajua bado.
Kila Alhamisi saa 1:30 kuendelea.
Join us on a journey through the concrete jungles and rising skylines, where every beam, every nail tells a story of progress and vision.
In every aspect of life, you have to look at several dynamics.
From groundbreaking.
Nowadays with the tech, you can check on different websites or you check online and you can see some inspiration. So at least that one would be a direction already. I'll know what kind of style you're going for.
To finishing touches, witness the dedication of the hard-working teams who bring these ambitious dreams to reality. The Realtor, Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m.
Na safari hii katika Mfahamu Kiongozi tutakuletea viongozi aina mbalimbali.
Nikuwe na Nisani kama 10 na pia nikuwe menua minibus. Minibus nikoniwa.
Kushinda unaangalia simu ya mzee. Soma Biblia ama ingia kwa washroom ujisugue. Mpaka nimetoa hivi.
I don't know whether any of my children would want to get into the political field. Sijajua bado.
Kila Alhamisi saa 1:30 kuendelea.
back to TV47 Weekend Edition and Hasi by extension. Now we go to more news, and the former CS for sports, Rashid Echesa, was rushed to Karen Hospital for immediate medical care after he reportedly fell sick while in police custody. This comes a day after an application by his lawyers to have him released on police bond was declined. Echesa is said to have developed abdominal pains and profuse bleeding on the left lower part of his abdomen, where he had a wound from a surgery. Echesa was detained at Muthaiga police station on Thursday over involvement in an extortion ring, allegations where they took a sum of 240 million shillings from Kakamega Governor Fernandez Baraza. Also, the former CS is alleged to have been involved in cyberbullying and stage managing abduction. He will be arraigned in court on Tuesday to answer to the charges.
Be as it may, he has been brought in. He is critical. He's been checked on. Tests are being conducted. He is actually bleeding quite a lot from the wound. We as lawyers cannot say much about the condition. All that we know is that he's totally unwell. When a complainant has been turned into an accused person or a criminal, we need to start asking questions again, whether our system is working properly or our system is being influenced. Is it being influenced? Yes. Why? When somebody comes and tells you he has used 240 million shillings because he has been extorted, the question would be, what had he done that was so crucial, that was so bad, that was so negative, that he had to get 240 million to cover up?
We would like the police now to cast the net wider. Yes, they might have taken the statement from Rashid, but we would also like to see the statement of the governor of Kakamega. He should tell us what took place. We're in the dark. All is rotating around him.
Now, police officers in Makueni County are investigating a murder incident where an administration police officer allegedly shot and killed a colleague Saturday morning. It is said that the suspect surrendered to authorities with a rifle he had used to commit the offense. It is alleged that the two male officers were in conflict over a female officer at their workplace. The suspect is in police custody and investigations are underway.
Further scrutiny of the scene, they realized that he had been shot twice and was dead. Immediately they raised me. I happened to stay nearby, about 100 meters from the scene. I came and truly I confirmed that the officer was dead after being shot twice on the ribs. The ammunitions exited through the right side, meaning that it was shot on the left side. Did the necessary action. We placed him in cells pending further investigations. And then we took the body to Mboni West Sub-County Referral Hospital, where the body is preserved. Right now the case is under investigations.
Today marks the third edition of the International Day of Zero Waste, as designated by the United Nations General Assembly to be observed annually on March the 30th. This day emphasizes the promotion of waste recycling and reduction to conserve resources and mitigate pollution. In Mombasa, a group of 4 individuals responded to this call by innovating a technology to recycle plastic waste into cooking gas.
The world faces urgent environmental challenges due to human activities, such as burning fossil fuels, leading to harmful impacts on climate change and human health. Rising air temperatures on Earth are primarily attributed to emissions of greenhouse gases. To address environmental conservation and the non-renewable fossil crisis, governments worldwide have committed to tripling renewable energy by 2030, a goal set at the UN Climate Summit in December 2023. Kenya, particularly Mombasa, has taken action as organizations launch incubator programs to tackle the plastic waste management crisis. Reports reveal that Mombasa County produces 20 tons of plastic waste daily, with only 52% of the waste collected by formal services. Zubeida Halifa, Robin Karaoke and Said are among the beneficiaries of the Mombasa Plastic Prize Incubator program. They purchase plastic from local garbage collectors and convert them into cooking gas through a 3-step process.
Tukishazipokea tunaziweka kwa heating chamber yetu. So kwa ile kwa heating chamber tunataka kupiga ile plastiki na temperature tupate kurelease ile gas. Alafu ikitoa gas tuachukue hiyo gas tuipeleka kwa cooling chamber. Cooling pale tuiteremsha temperature kidogo, tufanye refining kidogo, then we take to filtration. Then after filtration we go to storage.
Their biggest challenge, however, was finding the right equipment for the job and convincing the community of the safety and importance of their endeavor.
Kwanza hususan mambo kama haya ya gas ama any related explosive product, wengi bado hawajaelewa kitu gani ambacho sisi tunafanya, lakini baada ya kuwaeleza kuwa ni kitu ambacho kina usalama, ni kitu ambacho kina manufaa kwetu na kwa mazingira pia, wengi wamekubali na pia wanatusupport.
Managing plastic waste in Mombasa can mitigate the impacts of plastic pollution on marine life. Marine animals often bear the greatest brunt by either getting entangled in or ingest plastic debris, leading to poisoning and subsequent death.
Considering tuko Mombasa kuna joto, it's convenient for people to use the single-use plastic. Even like zinaweza kuliwa na samaki, bado iturudie sisi tupate shida katika afya kama kupata kansa.
They urge the community and the government at large to provide technical support to innovators, offer incentives, and assist in meeting the necessary environmental regulations.
As much as we've been able to pull through this pilot, sana we need technical support. Somebody who is going to help us with the technicalities of our idea.
And as the world marks the International Day of